Luxray beats.
Kori, they call me Tads. I'm the owner of this 2004 BMW M3. Okay, so the engine in this car, original from factory, is a S54 B32. Yeah, it produces like about 340 horsepower, from factory. I did some upgrades on it. I did intake, I did exhaust, I did differential also. So I upgraded the final drive. From factory came with a final drive of 3.62, which is rated for about, geared to let you reach about 185 thereabout. However, we don't have the roads out here to do that type of speed. So I shortened the gear ratios and put in a 4.7 racing definite. Thanks to a friend of mine, Chris Campbell. He was the one who hooked me up with that. Okay, so for the wheels now, I'm running some CSL replicas, Hyper Black. They are 18 by 9.5 square setup. So I have 265 on the front and I have 275 on the back. So that's it pertaining to wheels. Yeah, we're running spacers also. We have some H&R spacers on it just to get the wheel out a bit to be flush with the fender. It gives you a nice authentic look. Why did I choose this model of BMW? Well, first of all, I think the shape of the E46, you cannot deny that it's a beautiful car. It's well balanced, the aerodynamics of it is, pure and, race ready from factory. So with our everyday driving in terms of, because a lot of the time we're not promoting hard driving on the road, but sometimes you're in a spirited mood and you go ahead. This car now is well balanced, both on the wet and on the dry. So for instance, it carries like the traction control system, stability control dynamics, that if you don't turn it off, you can basically go flat out on a wet surface without you having any fear of the car being skid off the road and whatsoever, because whenever it catches a slip in the wheels, it normally comes on and meets the power from wheel to wheel. So it's a very well capable car, pertaining to street, and if you want to track it, you can also do that. Okay, so what started me in the whole car fraternity thing? Well, I would have to say my dad, from earlier on coming up, he was always a person who had fast cars around, and we would normally sit in it, or, he would just carry us around, and the bag of knives on Sunday, and, the engine revvings and everything. And then we grew up, went to high school, and after I came out of high school, he gave me my first car, which was a 1970 something Ford Escort, and I had a 4AG in it in that time. So we did a swap from the E46 Toyota GTS, and we put it in the Ford Escort, and it was there for a while with some Mikuni 40s, and eventually actually blew it up because I normally like to just go in there and rev it right through because of the 40s and the noise and whatsoever, and it eventually blew up. And then right after that, I went to Honda Civic SIR sunroof 1996 with a B18A with Type R gearbox and all the fancy work. Maybe that was one of the few Hondas at that time that was around, you know, like that, in that spec with the sunroof and the SIR body. And then moving on to that, I went to a Nissan 300 ZX, you know, one of my favorite cars right now, you know, otherwise from, you know, getting this, and it was a very nice car. Everywhere you go is head turner because it had the kit on it that makes it look like a Supra, and then, you know, I had a couple cars after that, and then we finally ended up in the BMW section now, in which, you know, as you can see, my brothers, my dad, friends, you know, we are just BMW people. You know, I've recently added one more to the collection. I have a Mazda RX-7 FD3, so hopefully this year that project will be done. And that's that. But you know, otherwise, you know, we're just true car lovers, you know. So you know, we just, you know, have our toys then. Okay, so on this car now, pertaining to mods, this car came from factory with because this is a Euro car, so it didn't carry any cat in the headers, or what you would call typical extractor, like the American version. So I have extractors on the car from factory, and I did rogue engineering, one first stage from the headers, then I have the secondary delete down there, and then I have a rogue engineer it to the end, and then an active exhaust on the back of the car. So basically it carry 4 sections, or 3, one of them. But anyways, it's fully piped. Yeah, intake was done, exhaust was done. We did the brakes also, so we have on some 8-piston brakes at the front and have on some 4 pistons at the back, and I did differential also. So I swapped out the factory gears. It came with that 3.6 that is normally geared for like 185, 190 miles per hour. However, we cannot do those type of speed out here. Jamaica isn't designed for that type of autobahn thing. So you would notice that the car, you know, lacks power in certain area because of the long gearing. So I did some research and I found a diff, you know, thanks to Chris Gamble, you know, bought a diff from him, and you know, it ended up being a 4.7, which it's okay, and maybe sometimes a little bit short because it's limited to maybe about 155, 160 thereabout, you know. So a lot of time you will be on the straightaways and in 6th gear, and you might be, you know, up in RPM. That, so it's basically a sprint diff. But because it's not an everyday car, you know, you can get away with that. Yeah, but it makes the car way more responsive in terms of, you know, gearing, and you can basically step in 6th gear and, you know, overtake whenever or however you want to overtake. So it makes it fun. Gas mileage is a bit down because of that, but I mean, you sacrifice some MPG for, you know, smiles per gallon, as what they say. So it was good. Yeah, but otherwise, that's it basically. Alright, so my favorite mods would definitely be the brakes, because without brakes, you know, it doesn't make sense. So I spent some money getting my brakes done, and actually it was worth it. It wouldn't be a mod that I would ever regret that you know, maybe I spent too much money on, you know, or anything like that. So I think brakes, everybody should be investing in brakes on the vehicle, because a lot of the time, sometimes, you know, we chase power, and at the end of the day, after building so much power, the car cannot stop. And, you know, you totally end up sometime, you know, lose your ride or your life, you know, just by being, you know, real. So brakes is one of the best upgrades I've done yet so far. All right, so future plans. I would like to do a full race NA build, but I don't know if my budget would allow me to do that, because you know, right now you have to be smart in this thing. But next thing, if I was to do something that, you know, maybe is a bolt-on, it would be like a supercharger, like an active supercharger, stage 2, like a 500, 520, 550 kit. You know, because I mean, this car, as how it stays right now, I did about 280 something to the wheels, you know, and believe me when I tell you that with this might have sounds like a lot compared when you're watching horsepower figures, but this car go head to head with a lot of cars that are building 350, 380, maybe even 400, and at the end of the day, you know, it's just how it really builds the power. So right now, for me to add maybe 100 more horsepower to it, you know, it would definitely be something to be reckoned with, you know, because I mean, BMW engineering, you know, they know what they are doing, you know, it's not any spell and guess. So I guess, you know, for right now, but as it is right now, it's running good, and you know, but if I was supposed to do something to it, it would be supercharger, or it would definitely be a full, you know, Vanus delete cams and high compression pistons and, you know, the whole work. Okay, so I want to give a shout out to, first of all, well, my family members, because a lot of times sometimes they hear wrenching together. So my brothers, you know, my cousins, mechanic wise, Shane, I need to give you a shout out. Kazi also, Chris Campbell, just to see him. Lizard, yeah. Xavier, see him, I use him dyno more than once, so I have to give him a shout out just to see him. And just, you know, anybody who had an influence, or, you know, even come by and say, you know, a few words of encouragement to say, all right, then, you know, do it that way, or you call, oh, Bill, Sir Bill, so I have to give out a shout out to Sir Bill, you know. A lot of time we ask him question what needs to be done, and, you know, he says, so, I mean, anybody that had, you know, any form of input in it, definitely, you know, big up.
Luxray beats.
So we're there with Kori, you know what I mean? Yeah, so we right now basically we just, you know what I mean, have a small conversation, you know, a little bit of information. You know, we always drop this tonight. We make sure so people always learn from the vlogs, not only just get entertainment, you know what I mean? So Kori, yeah, from your experience, you know, in the Bmw life, you know, coming up, you know what I mean, what, you know, say your experience be, you know what I mean, in terms of, you know, coming up from how many Bmws now are cars overall?
Well, I've been through a couple previous cars. Like for instance, you know, my first car was a Ford Escort. Yeah, so old school Weber's carburetor, 4AG. So we came from there and then we went up to Honda. You know, Honda. I've been through a couple Hondas as well. You know, from B20, B16, B18,
yeah,
Frankenstein, the whole of them things. So
yeah,
we know about the whole, you know, game and where we want it to be, and you know where we at so far. So BMW now, our latest vehicle now would be the BMW. In terms of, how do you get it out right? Because majority of people, they just think that maybe power is everything. You know, and a lot of the time, sometimes we substitute a lot of things and we don't, you know, do a lot of things because of chasing power. Just looking and say, oh, you have the car have more power. It means you have to perform better, you have to be faster, it have to everything, you know. But it isn't a case like that, because, for instance, a simple example, you know, now that we are all grown up and, you know, we've been around cars and understand more about vehicle, you know, the capability, a lot of stuff. Ratio alone sometimes can make you outrun. Yeah, make you beat a lot of cars. Just sheer ratio, braking, suspension.
Yeah.
You know, it's some key elements that you don't have to go up on any power.
Yeah.
You know, even a simple thing as lightning, you know, getting out weight, you know, at the vehicle sometimes give you a better power to rate ratio that, you know, you completely destroy somebody that have 1.5 times power as you. So,
true that.
You know, it isn't all about power.
Yeah. Majority of the man them out there right now, I feel like the higher the dyno numbers, you know what I mean, are the better them chance for beat, you know what I mean, for beat a man.
Yeah.
But as Kori'S say people, you know what I mean, no make no sense you have all 400, 500 horsepower, you're not like a high number. Your suspension can't manage in the corners.
Exactly.
Your brake can't manage. You're gonna lose. You probably end up losing your life because those things factoring into,
very much so.
You know what I mean, you being able to win. You know what I mean? Yeah. In terms of the BM, you ever carry up on the drag strip?
Yes, I've done a couple, not professionally, but just the regular, you know, Sunday run and thing. And that again, I'm going to tell you that my car, it only built 280 wheel horsepower to the ground. Them come from factory with 340.
Yeah.
You know, you know, by drivetrain loss, I think 50, you know, 20% drivetrain loss.
Right.
To get to 280. And, you know, it's amazing to see that car run with a lot of cars that are 380, maybe have 400 horsepower. Yeah. And at the end of the day, you want them either neck and neck or you destroy them completely. And then, you know, people are going to wonder, say, yo, you know, I wonder what's up. But it's all about balance and how the car build its power, just the same. Because if you are going to wait until you reach 8,000 RPM, you put down 400 horsepower. I'm under him 250 horsepower. You can get you off of the line. And again too, I would say, you know, if you're interested in a certain part or you're interested in a particular type of race, you know, you spec your car for that. So if it's a drag man, you build your car pertaining to drag. My car is not a drag car, but me still do it because it's just fun. You get me? So my car is an autobahn car, but if it's about drag,
if it was a professional type of thing like
that, then I would definitely build something for that type of session. So
makes sense. So people are that enough to learn, you know, to understand, because a lot of us enthusiasts out there are, you know, so-called, you know, we basically see the outside and the prettiness of what go on. In the racing world, and we jump in and assume we know everything. We just feel like, you know, more horsepower. Yeah man, we definitely have to beat that, man. We don't realize that. You know, a lot of factors. So what we try to know people is educate from my experience and for all our persons who we do a vlog with as well. You know what I mean? To just kinda, you know, make them know, you know, what is what. So if y'all know I watch, because I know say most of my viewers are some young persons right now come up, you know what I mean? So if y'all are watching now and get some information from this one you can use and just jump into the whole racing thing or the car thing and feel like, you know what I mean, power is the way.
And I would say, I'm not cut you, but I would say too, whenever you're building your car or whatever, don't try to build it for the expectation of people, because you can never build a car to exceed, you know, everybody. Favoritism, you know. You gotta always get burned and you gotta always feel down sometimes and things. So you always build a car to please yourself. Not to please others and things. So that, you know,
that is definitely a point where persons have to understand. Because persons who know my car, people say my car look like me. Basically my personality
got into it.
Me put in a my car. You know what I mean? So if you try to please the crowd, people, trust me, not gonna make sense. You know what I mean? Work out. But me, I hope you know, when I learn, you know what I mean, a little bit from the session of between me and Kori, you know what I mean, and apply that to yourself. You got me, I say. Again, me have to big up the boss, you know. Take your time out.
Respect, man, and thanks to come across to one at least, you know. And there's the little thing we have, because it was always a lifelong dream, you know, of you know, trying to own, you know, or getting to where we are right now. I mean, we not fully, you know,
Yeah,
reach the
part,
peak, but you know, with some when I say motivation and just the whole, you know, aspiration and thing, you know, we always
We can tell you still from my perspective, you know, I'm sure I see some persons out there right now, you see this vlog or you know this platform where we have put it out on now, I'm sure I see people are watching nothing and admire nothing, cause me definitely can me never know until me know. You get me I say? And when Avi come and show me the vibe and you know camera on and all like that and me I say yo, you know me rate the I click I'm like a family thing and
respect, man. Respect,
I tell you, cause you know what I mean, you know say times change now bro and things kinda everybody mostly segregated and I be a fight against kinda vibe with one
and the car community, you know, as you know, like one time where people just run and have fun. It's more of a more you know
competitive and
competitive and just disrespect and
so when I come around and I see you know, Jonah, Raga, Avi and like just the whole you see me? One thing me say, yo, Johnny, me like that clicker, me like it. You see me?
We try to do that. And the next move is I recently purchased a RX. So for the rotary fans, look out for that this year, cause you know FD3. Rotary, brap.
Yo, I'm telling you more show now. Me have a clip it. You know what I mean? More show it tonight. You know what I mean? Boss Harvey. See me, man. Do him like a tweaks and get it up.
Just get it running. So you know it has a lot of progress to move forward. But the most important thing is that it's here.
Yeah.
And you know it's not, as I said, you know we'll always say again, it's not where sometimes everything that does come like once. Day one. So you know you have to start from a level. The world wasn't built in one day, so you have to start. So
So people, remember, you know, look out for the RX-7. You know what I mean? Coming up. No, so when you go left Mandeville without the boss, him do a little shunting and sliding, so now have them clip that come up to as well. You see me? Don't know. Franchise, big up on yourself. Thank you for tuning in, you know what I mean? Like, share, subscribe, do all of the good things. You see me? Share with everybody. You see me? Big up on yourself.
Yeah, big up.
Luxray Beats.